Recently, Kyle Shanahan has came out and said Trey Lance looks the best he's ever looked in a 49ers uniform. And a big portion of that has to be the work that Trey Lance put in with Patrick Mahomes during the offseason. More specifically though, Trey Lance also changed his throwing coach to the same one Patrick Mahomes and Jimmy Garoppolo uses, who is Jeff Christensen. Recently, Jeff Christensen has sat down with an interview with Matt Barrows, and he had a lot to say, including what Patrick Mahomes thinks of Trey Lance. Speaking of Trey Lance and Patrick Mahomes together, many people wondered what the actual impact was, but as it seems, according to Jeff Christensen, it was a huge impact. Speaking about when Trey Lance was watching Patrick Mahomes throw, this is what Jeff Christensen had to say. I said, watch this. Watch it, what he does here. It was something I was telling him to do that he wasn't quite doing. And then he saw Patrick apply it perfectly. I think the visual buy-in, the mental buy-in, helped him pass that mental hump. And to his credit, he just kept getting better. He continued, over the last 7 days, every day was a substantial jump. I think this is significant because Trey Lance actually did learn a ton from Patrick Mahomes, and the similarities don't stop there. Christensen has also compared Trey Lance's demeanor and competitive edge to Patrick Mahomes. Christensen said this of Patrick Mahomes' view on Lance. Pat really thinks the world of Lance. And then also, this is Christensen's view on Lance. He's just a really good person, conscientious, he wants to be great, and he's one of the few kids whose actions match his words. He backs it up, he shows up every day and wants to learn, and that's why I teach him. Christensen has also mentioned that Trey Lance is currently 25% ahead of progress according to where he thought he would be. And this is also Christensen talking about Trey Lance's growth under his work. And to his credit, he just kept getting better. Over the last 7 days, every day was a substantial jump. A big reason why Christensen desperately needed to fix Trey Lance's mechanics is that Trey Lance would often end up with a sore arm if he threw a ton of passes. The reasoning why is that Trey Lance utilized his arm more than his lower body, therefore his arm would get sore after throwing like 150 passes. Christensen even specifically spoke about this. Christensen told Barrows that when he first started early in March, Lance's arm would become sore after a couple of days of throwing. Lance then would need a day off for rest and treatment, and Christensen said that shouldn't happen to quarterbacks who had the correct technique. But after refining his throwing motion with Christensen, Trey Lance was able to get rid of this problem almost entirely, it sounds like. Christensen told Barrows that after a high-intensity session where Lance threw about 150 passes, he went back to the Bay Area, and then the next day, he called Trey Lance and asked him how his arm was. And then Trey Lance said, I cannot believe it. I woke up and it was not sore at all. This is more significant than Trey Lance just not being sore. It also reduces his chance of injury. Furthermore, Trey Lance's improved mechanics should increase his consistency and accuracy of placing the football where he wants it to go. And I think this is going to be a huge jump for him in Kyle Shanahan's offense. But to say how I think Trey Lance will perform in Kyle Shanahan's offense, I don't think I can say it any better than Jeff Christensen said it when he said this. With his play calling and this kid's upside and ability, I think he can be incredible. But those are just my thoughts on Trey Lance and Patrick Mahomes working out together, Patrick Mahomes thinking the world of Lance, and Jeff Christensen speaking about Trey Lance's improvements. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. It would also mean a ton if you liked and subscribed. Thank you guys so much for watching.